Good morning, guys. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from what we normally do. We're going to be taking out my Crescent ck1 instead of my Hobie, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a sort of fishing and review of it. So first I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to catch some fish, and I'm going to cast and stand on it and basically just show you how well it works. And then afterwards I'm going to pull it out of the water and do a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown on basically all of its features and some of the things I like and dislike about it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not a whole lot of features on this kayak. It is really just the meat and potatoes of exactly what you need, but in my opinion, that's the best you can get. So without any further ado, I'm going to get us out to the spot and we're going to see what we can do about catching some fish. I'll see you guys out there. Alright guys, so we're at the first spot. I pulled the kayak up on this little rocky bar. What we're going to do is we're going to walk down this shoreline here. Make sure I got my camera adjusted properly. We're going to walk down this shoreline here and see if we can find some reds. The tide's going out and the wind's picking up, so I'm going to have to go a bit farther than I thought I was going to, but this spot's usually pretty good and it's on the way, so figured we'd stop and fish it for a bit. Hook up. Oh my gosh, it's a little bit better one, I'll say. My drag's really loose though, so I don't want to speak too soon. All right, there we go. All right, first bite of the day. Let's see if we can get him up in here. Oh, nice red. Real pretty looking red. Look at him run. All right, come here, buddy. All right. Set our rod down here. Easy, 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 buddy. Easy, easy. It's okay. It's okay. Easy, buddy. All right, easy. All right guys, we're gonna have to run back to the kayak and get the pliers. I'm gonna cut the camera so I can do this quick. All right, I got the hook out of him. All right guys, getting ready to shove off the next spot. I just realized something. We did in a way bring the Hobie with us because I brought my Hobie paddle. If you're gonna get a kayak like this, I'd recommend you get a light like carbon fiber paddle. Or something like the Hobie paddle. Obviously, I wouldn't go Hobie brand. I would get something aftermarket that's good quality, but because I had it and it came with my other kayak, it's just what I use. Before that, I was using the old Walmart special. There's nothing wrong with that, but a lighter paddle sure does make it nice. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get us moving towards the next spot, see if we can find some more reds. So let's do the thing. We just spooked a little ray in front of us. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm also seeing some pinfish, so this might not be a bad area to start casting from. Oh, I just got a hit. There we go. There we go, guys. All right, nice trout. Real nice trout. Like I said before, it is a little bit more difficult to get down on a knee or set in the kayak, but it ain't too bad. All right, buddy. Turn him loose. See you, dude. Oh, there he goes. All right, guys. First trout of the trip. All right, guys. So I figured that I would pull the kayak up on this little island and give you guys a little bit of a look into how I set up the kayak when I'm out in the water and where I store some of my equipment. So first and foremost, we'll start at the bow and then we'll move all the way back. So I take off the original plastic or original canvas and elastic cover that goes in the front. The best thing you can put up there are basically shoes and life jackets, but it usually gets in the way of my rod tips. I don't even think I own it anymore because of how little I used it. So moving back, and speaking of rods, I'll usually store my rods along the sides of the kayak using what is meant to be my paddle holder to secure them, and keeping the reel actually partially behind my seat. I got a water bottle on top of it right now, so you can't see it as well, but it goes in this little area right here behind the seat. The rod that I'm actively using while I'm paddling will go in the seat beside me, and then the lure will lay up in the front of the kayak. Obviously the paddle will be across my lap. That makes it kind of easier to manage while I'm paddling around fishing, and I don't have to worry about losing my rod. I don't have to worry about my reel getting wet. It works pretty good. So moving down the kayak, you've got your foot pedals here. All these are is to give you something to brace on. I have seen people try to use them as tie-offs for anchors and things like that. Do not do that. These aren't fragile, but if you use them improperly, they will break. You also, you can see, have the inserts here in case you want the C-deck foam style of inserts. I didn't personally want them because they tend to stain. I didn't want to have to worry about them peeling up, and this is just my meat and potatoes bare bones kayak. I didn't want that. Moving back even further still, we've got these rails. I don't use them for anything. They get in the way of absolutely everything, especially if you put like the big Yakima rod holders there. Not to crap on Yakima, it's the most popular, well-known brand, I think, and honestly best quality if you're going to try it. I actually had one mounted to this at one point in time. It's got two cup holders. These are okay as long as you have a shorter bottle of water or something like that. I usually use them to hold things like my phone or baits. We've got our seat. I'll talk a little bit more later, but these did have a factory defect when they first came out, or at least 3 or 4 years ago when I bought this one, where this inseam around the edge of the seat does tend to want to break on you. And that's not great. That's one of the things I dislike about it, but I thought I'd, mention it a little bit now. There's virtually no storage underneath the seat. It's usually where I'll throw old, bad soft plastics and things like that. So as I was saying before, the only other thing I might throw under the seat is some beer cans, like what I found here or something like that. I don't drink while I kayak. I think that's a bad mix of hobbies, but I do unfortunately find quite a few of them. Let me move my flannel so we can see back behind the seat. So moving backwards, we've got where I usually put, you know, all the miscellaneous stuff that doesn't have a great place. Extra bottle of water. My anchor will go back here. My little dry bag. I would recommend you have this style of dry bag if you're going to have this kayak. I don't recommend the plastic kind that stays with the boat. If you turn over, you want that dry bag to not only be visible, but be accessible to you immediately if it's got things like your SOS beacon or your phone or anything like that. In the back, like I said, I'll examine it without all the stuff in it later, but I store a net, life jacket. It is padded. I keep my shoes back here too, also, if I bring, you know, my Hey Dude spare shoes. Shouldn't have brought them, don't really need them, but I did, so here they are. You can also see where I had like, I'm sorry, earlier I said they were Yakima holders. They're not, they're Yak Attack. You can see where I used to have my old clip-in rod holders, but I found that they got in the way and I like storing them besides my seat better. Maybe one day I'll do a video with them again and I'll kind of show you guys what I mean. But for now, that's about it. Other than, I mean, in the very back here, you've got carry handles, a drain plug, pretty standard stuff. This kayak doesn't have a ton of room, but as long as you don't overcomplicate it and try to bring too much, you should be fine. I'm gonna get out. Hook up. All right. It's a little red. Hey, buddy, come here, come here, come here. All right. Let's get this hook out of you. Easy, buddy, easy. Don't hook me. Look at that little guy. Let's get him back in the water here. See you, buddy. All right, guys, let's see if we can get ourselves another one. Made it this far. You know that this is the part of the video where I'm going to basically lay out all the pros and cons and things that I like and give one final breakdown of the kayak. So I just got back from out on the water. It was kind of a slower day out there. Caught a few fish, as I'm sure you guys have already seen. And I talked about most of the major talking points that I had wanted to mention, those being that the kayak seems to paddle pretty well when there's a good backwash behind it. Like if the tide's coming and it's going with the tide, it will track super straight. But if you're going in to any type of wind especially, but tide too, it doesn't tend to track as straight, and part of that is inherent with the fact that it doesn't, A, it's short, and B, it doesn't have a rudder. Even with that, it tracks really well for what it is. It's also very stable to stand on. You'll see me throughout the video standing on it, moving about. The only thing I'll say is that to turn, like to face, if I'm facing towards the bow and I want to face the rear of the kayak, I would need to sit down and turn back around, or kneel down and turn back around. It is almost impossible to do that and keep the kayak afloat, to turn completely around, and keep the kayak afloat without sitting. That's actually how the one time that I have dumped this in the water thus far, that was how I did it. Aside from that, there's not much else to say. The only major complaint I have is the seat. The seat did, suffer that bit of wear and tear, but they are known for that in the earlier models. I believe they've fixed that, so if you're buying something new, I don't think you'll really have to worry about that too much. I don't like to add a lot to mine, but there's definitely options for customization, although they are kind of limited with this boat, just because to pack everything you need, you're not going to have a lot of extra room. So if you want something like fish finders, or maybe a larger style, like a larger trolling motor, or even like a Bixby or something like that, you're already pretty much maxed out on space bringing just the essentials. So if you want a very meat and potatoes basic kayak, this is perfect for you. It'll work forever. They're super durable, super reliable. You're not going to have to worry about your little hardware, your handles breaking anytime soon. But if you want something a bit fancier, you want to add a lot of extra equipment to it, want to have a lot of rods, more than just one or two, I don't think this is the kayak for you. Although Crescent does have other models. If I can get my hands on those, I'll review those as well. But as of right now, this is the only one I have to review. But if you made it this far, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and God bless. Have a good day.